Hello, my name is Ashaya Francis. Today I will be presenting my IO, and I will be examining the ways in which the global issue of my choice is presented through the content and form of two of the works that I've studied over this course. Though both of the works I've chosen express and go through many global issues such as identity, power, and beliefs, the most prominent value that we've noticed is the global issue of values, and more specifically, how superficial things such as identity and power and beliefs can alter one's values. The first work, originally written in English, is The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde. The excerpt that we've chosen is approximately 40 lines, and the basis is that it goes into one of the main characters, Jack, realizing that Miss Prism, another main character, is his mother. In more detail, it goes into how Jack starts to connect the dots and realizes that his mother and Miss Prism both seem to share very common, or very uncommon, but they both seem to share a similarity, multiple similarities, and he concludes in the ending that she is his mother, who he was abandoned. This is not the only part and occasion in this work in which value is seen. It's also seen whenever the main characters, Jack and Algernon, express their desires to be named or renamed Ernest. The work and translation I have chosen is Oedipus the King. The excerpt chosen, which is approximately 40 lines again, is Oedipus speaking the entire time, and it simply goes into how he is speaking about how he realized that he killed an elderly man on the crossroads, and though he didn't realize it at the time, it was his father, and he had fulfilled his prophecy and killed his father and married his mother. Both stories seem to express this idea of valuing a name or a title. This is seen in the way that Oedipus seems to care very highly about his title as king, and not only that, he cares about the prophecy spoken over him. He values the fact that as king he is seen above the gods at the time. He's seen above them because he denounces any prophecy spoken above about him. He claims that he hasn't fulfilled any prophecies, and so other people look to him as above the fates, therefore above the gods. And so his value is less in his title, I guess. His value is less in his title and more in the fact that he is above the prophecy spoken over him. In The Importance of Being Earnest, the two main characters, Jack and Algernon, they value the connotation of the name Ernest. As I stated earlier, that was the other part in which it's seen. But they both strive to alter their identity to their liking, which is why they desire to change their name. because altering their identity can overall alter their value. And in late Victorian era, the name Ernest was highly looked upon because of its connotation. It was looked as very highly thought of, people who were wealthy, people who had good social status and were overall had a good moral compass, which is why culture also plays a big role. Because again, as I stated, this is late Victorian era, and in late Victorian era, wealth is connected to one's social status. One's social status is connected to one's name, and if one's name is named Ernest, they have a very high social status. And a very high social status means they have a very high wealth. And a very high wealth means that they have a very high value. The effects of culture can also be seen in Oedipus. Again, the fulfilling of the prophecy is from Greek culture. Again, and him being above the fates, who are also from Greek culture, him being above the fates, and also being above the gods, that overall his value is changed until he fulfills the prophecy. And then his value is changed again, but in a different way. It's changed in a negative way, as he's no longer special as what others perceive him to be. But both works also express similarities within the plot. Most of these similarities revolve around the importance of power, whether it's through status, money, or identity. It's expressed through how in both of the works, it was essentially a wild goose chase where everything could have been resolved if everyone had sat down and talked and acted normally and civically. And even in getting even more into detail, even the way that they both found out who their real parents were, and how they both were abandoned as children, whether they were thrown off a cliff or left in a handbag, but they both have multiple similarities. And again, most of these similarities can relate to common beliefs and common values. Both of the works, they share this value of wealth, as I stated. They understand how they came to be, how they both value, how Oedipus values the fact that his mother and father read a prophecy about him, and how they reacted afterwards. Again, how Miss Prism reacted, or how Miss Prism abandoned Jack. Both of them value their upbringings because it shaped them as people, which can coincide with identity and the power that's left with it. They also both share this common literary element of dramatic irony, where the audience knows what's going to happen, or what is happening and what's going to happen, and they connect certain events before the on-stage characters can. This is seen when both Cecily and Gwendolyn, they both argue and think that Algernon and Jack are Ernest. And the audience, they both realize, the whole audience knows that technically neither of them are Ernest. which kind of defeats the point of being named Ernest, because people who are named Ernest are supposed to be very forthright and been brought up well. Dramatic irony is also seen in Oedipus when he realizes he killed his father and slept with his mother and fulfilled his overall prophecy. Dramatic irony in general can be seen in value as it's kind of more like the delay of value, I would say, because it's holding off what we already know. And just as much as they have similarities, they also have differences. When Oedipus realizes that he killed his father and slept with his mother, even though many people don't believe that his identity or his value was the same, many people believe that his value and identity were the same. I disagree. I believe that even though it doesn't necessarily state it, I believe that there was internal value that changed as he realizes that he's not who he thought he was. And it seems like his life begins to fall apart. So I can't state that, I can't state that the value is not there or important. And the importance of being earnest, his identity changes from orphaned to having a family, because he now knows his name and his status. And because he knows that, his before idea, which is that he is unworthy, changes to him realizing that he is worthy. Thank you. Have a good day.